Hey there, happy Tuesday. It's me, Victor here. Hopefully you're having a great trading week. Just gonna go over some particular plays in the overall markets. Again, all these are really for educational only. All right, don't take nothing as advice. Again, I always say this channel is mainly geared toward those who are learning about the stock market. And again, this is mainly just to catalog my trading process and route of me becoming an elite trader. Alrighty. But this one's going to mainly be titled along the lines of pretty much how to trade in a slow market. And it sounds pretty counterintuitive, but often the best thing to do in a slow market is to not trade. And it's really hard for a lot of individuals to do that because in this business, you want to make money. I understand that. We all come for the monetary value. But again, I always say, in the beginning, your main goal is longevity. Your goal is long-term survival. Your goal is to outlast your enemy. And the only way you do that is by sitting on your hands. And it's a tough skill to learn to not overtrade. But I'm going to pretty much show you that really, whenever you have setups, as I mentioned in this channel thousands of times, whenever you have setups, whenever you have a database of stocks like I've been preaching to you in this entire year, whenever you have a strategy, it's pretty easy. You just don't trade unless those setups appear. And whenever we have a market like we're in right now, there's often the setups are valid, but just know that they have a lower probability of not working. And whenever we talk about a slow market, I always say one thing is whenever these moving averages are sloping downwards. That is what I mean in the slow market, is whenever these moving averages are surfing higher, that's whenever breakouts, the setup's gonna work validly. But whenever they kind of are in this decline, that's whenever it's kind of tough. That's not saying you can't trade, that's not saying there's no setups. No, again, like any business in the world, the market's gonna be open. Just understand most of the time, they're gonna have low probability setups. But pretty much whenever these moving averages are surfing downwards, that's whenever you really want to avoid just lower size. That's one thing I always do, is whenever you have these really down periods, I pretty much trade small size. Like here, small size, and pretty much you want to look for stocks. Pretty much back in COVID, that big not recession, but big pullback we had, that led to a massive great 2 years, which was probably one of the greatest runs I've ever seen. Again, I never traded the dot-com bubble. I'm only 26, but this pretty much whole period right here was insanity. It was like free money being made. Then we pretty much had 2 days of, not 2 days, we pretty much had 2 whole years of consolidation. Why is that breaking out? But 2 whole years of consolidation. After this run here, then we have another run up, and it's just, again, it's the same premise: stock move in stairs, and your goal is to really avoid it whenever we have this kind of a pullback, and I'm not saying we're gonna have one now. I'm just showing you that, remember, 3 out of 4 stocks follow the overall market. So whenever these moving averages are on the decline, just always be in defensive mode and go live life. Have hobbies. You don't have to be on the screen every single tick, okay? The goal of this is to become financially free, meaning don't be a slave to this, okay? The best traders in the world don't trade every day. I don't trade every day, Overtrading is a problem for a lot of people. And the way to do that is just to walk away from the screens. And you can fix that by whenever you have a setup. Whenever you have a setup, you're pretty much, like for instance, I don't look to trade. I say this every day to myself. I don't have to trade. I don't need to. If I see a setup that's valid, I'm going to take it, but understand it's just playing the odds. And whenever we have a market like we're in right now, as I mentioned, whenever these moving averages are on the decline, I just pretty much study or go enjoy life, Again, you want to preserve mental capital. No one talks about that. But you want to preserve mental capital, so whenever we have times, like during COVID, as even last year, we had that nice pullback. This time, preserve mental capital, because whenever times come like this, where opportunities are big, that's whenever you could push it. But whenever we're on the decline, again, I'm not saying we're going to go lower. I'm just saying follow the market, move, again, treat the market like the ocean, okay? Do not try to fight the waves. Don't try to fight the trend. Don't do that. Preserve mental capital. And whenever the markets come back, that's when you push size. Again, I'm not saying we're going to go into recession. I don't know. I don't give a shit. Your goal is not to predict. Your goal is to react, okay? And preserve mental capital is pivotal for anything in life. But as a trader, it's pivotal. So don't trade too much, you know? I only took long 2 trades today. One I'm long right now is CYPH. Pretty much a 5-star setup. I went over this one. I traded this one twice, you know? I pretty much locked in a lot of money on this one particular stock. As I mentioned, I got long pretty much on last Friday. I got long yesterday. And I pretty much got long today. We got long Friday, rather. Well, yeah, we talked about that. This was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, pretty much same setup we always talked about. You know, the consolidation phase and opening range highs out of the gate right there. And pretty much same exact pattern today. This was basing really well. This was basing extremely well on the hourly here. And I pretty much got long opening ranges. I kind of anticipated this to go. I got long at 265, and I'm just watching it. I'm going to trail it. The setup is still there. It's still intact. Therefore, I'm watching it. If this does base over 320, 1 second. Yeah. So as I was saying, it's pretty much like a downward flag. We always talk about momentum. We always talk about setups, and the way to really focus your attention in a slow market is pretty much that, having a system and only trading that. And again, I don't look for a trade, always have alerts on your tickers. And when I got an alert over this pivot level of 250, I pretty much saw it and I got long, and it's working out really well. We'll see what happens. Ideally, the big goal in this is obviously to hit that overall level, but it's going to be just a washout, so we'll see. Ideally, more continuation on that one. One more I'm long is a different type of setup. It's going to be on iron. We always talk about focus on previous runners, focus on linearity, and this has been one of the hottest stocks in the overall market. And they're pretty much coming to this pivot point. It's pretty much flagging really well on the daily chart, making higher lows here. So I saw it and I got long out of the open. Pretty much from a $46 average. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. This could easily fail. It could easily fail and pretty much revert back downwards. But it's one of those setups that I trade very rarely. But we'll see what happens on those two. That's pretty much it. Another one I'm watching is LAC. Same type of premise. It's basing extremely well on the daily chart. So I'm watching that for sure. Again, it's been a big mover of the past, therefore I'm watching it. So yeah, that's really those two. That's really all I'm long right now. Other than that, again, as I mentioned, in a slow market, IO and Q, same type of play. The quantum plays. See how it's basing really well? So we'll see. Over 50 on that one. But with these, you don't have to trade every day. Okay, that's the main premise of this video, is that you don't have to trade every single day. And it takes a while to understand that. It comes down to it right here. You know, the perfect speculator, the perfect gambler, if you will, must know when to come in, and most important, he must know when to stay out. And the most important, he must know when to get out when he is in, okay? Jesse Livermore, one of the greatest stock traders in the world back in the day, said he made his millions just by sitting, okay? You don't have to trade every single day. That's your goal, is to sit. Sit on your hands and do nothing, which for most people, they can't do it. But I want you to be different, obviously. So just stay focused. Focus on your setups, and that's pretty much it, okay? With CYPH, I'm long continuation. Ideally, over 320. If we have that overhead test 355, again, I can see it. The ADR is extremely high. Higher end potential bounce play, long from about $47. We'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much all. Again, whenever we have a slow market, whenever these moving averages are on the decline in the markets, you don't have to trade every day. Okay, don't. Remember, cash is king. Cash is king. Other than that, I'll see y'all soon.